Good morning. How art thou? It is 56 degrees. It's May. Can you believe it? 56 degrees in the morning. What is that insanity, ladies and gentlemen? It should be at least 68 as we creep towards the warmth, the warm, wonderful glow of summer. Gas is 4.69 a gallon at the gas station I just passed. I don't ever remember whether I lived in New Jersey or here. I do not remember at the worst times when it was up this high in states like California and Oregon and all that stuff. It was never even close here in Pennsylvania or back in New Jersey. So this is a new one. Soon it's going to be $5 a gallon. Oh, I just hit low fuel, so now I'm going to have to get gas anyway. And yeah, that's the state that we're in, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're doing right now. So should be interesting. It's a beautiful day otherwise, though. And I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you had a nice week. It's Friday, and that means that Saturday is the next day, followed by Sunday, and then Monday again. And this repeats 52 times a year. It's called a week. And yeah, that's just how it goes. I am not telling you anything you don't know. I don't think. I hope not. Anyway, morning, David. Morning, Dustin. How are you guys? So we're leaving Fairfield. I'm doing a short drive today. I just wanted to make contact with y'all. Got a little bit of a late start this morning. Man, I've been having trouble sleeping, and I don't know. Like I took magnesium last night, which really knocked me out the night before. I took two that night. Last night I just took one, and that only got me through from about 9 o'clock to 2 a.m. And then I couldn't go back to sleep. I was wired. So I went out, sat in the chair, and I was like, let me see if I can get in a fight with AI. Just kind of ask it some questions, see what it says. It's actually quite an interesting conversation. I don't even remember totally what I was asking it, but at one point I said, so you hear all these people talk about another civil war. What do you think about that? And obviously it goes through all the articles and everything that have been written about it. And pretty much the experts, if you will, are saying it's not going to be like the last time where the lines are evenly drawn, armies are raised. It's going to be more like what we see in third world countries, pockets of hell and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Uh, it was really actually depressing. And so then I fell asleep at about 4:30, I think, maybe, and slept till about 7:30 or so. And yeah, I just never get a full night's sleep anymore, and it really pisses me off. I guess that's part of getting old, so they say. So I hope you guys slept well. Dustin says 1-year-old didn't want me to sleep well. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that. You know who else doesn't want you to sleep well? Puppies. Even when they're 3 and no longer technically a puppy, they don't want you to sleep well. Asta Boy says it definitely is part of getting old. Trust me, I'm 69. Well, that sucks. I hate that. What is that all about? I swear to God, I I gotta like seriously have a talk with my doctor because I said this to Cindy yesterday. I feel like I'm 69. I feel 20 years ish, 22 years older than I actually am. And when I talk to people who are 20 years older than me and they complain about a physical ailment or something that's bugging them, and I go, oh, yeah, same with me, and I can't this, can't that. And they go, well, you're too young for that. Well, apparently not. Or I'm too out of shape and I'm actually in really bad health, just haven't found the signs of it yet. But I physically feel like I'm already in my 60s, which I think is why I relate to people in my 60s better than people my own age or younger. I feel like I've already lived a long life and I'm retired or retiring soon. But then when, the reality of it is I'm not. I got more to go. And if this is how I feel at 47, that means I'm either going to die at 52 or it's going to be a long, miserable latter half of my life because I'm going into failing health. So it's got me worried. It really does. Always a joy. Cookie says I never get a full night's sleep because I need to fall asleep to a YouTube vid or podcast. That always keeps me awake because I'm interested in the topic. Yeah, you need to find some kind of like ambient noise or white noise or something to listen to. Um, my problem is I fall asleep to something on TV, um, and it varies, but it's usually something I already know very well because I've seen it a million times, like Deadwood or Ken Burns' Civil War. I don't need to pay attention because I already know it. It's just background noise. The problem is, depending on what platform I'm watching it on, when it's over, it keeps going. And so, and it's bad for you because all night listening to something, you don't get that silence, and the light from the TV is not good to sleep near. I'm doing it to myself. I'm aware of it, but like I don't know any other way to fall asleep. Cindy can fall asleep. See, that's the thing is I don't want to like interrupt her sleep by putting the TV on in the bedroom, but she falls asleep on the couch in front of the TV all the time along with me. So, but she gets up, she'll wake up sometime before midnight and get up and go into the bedroom and go to bed. I might, but I'm like a zombie, so I just good night, and then I go right back to sleep. Eat healthier, night owl. I've been eating healthier for how many months since July? I mean, I even before that I was eating healthier. It's really just protein, fruits, and vegetables. For the most part, I cut bread out. I'll have certain breads that are like we get this stuff in the mail, and they make it the way they do over in Europe, and it comes raw, and you bake it up and everything like that, and it's great. Like I don't feel like shit afterwards. Like American bread makes me feel bad unless it's made at a local bakery or something. They don't add all that crap, but I can't eat store bought bread. Um, and sugar, if it doesn't occur naturally, like in fruits or honey or something like that, I don't eat refined sugars. I won't have dessert. I was never really a dessert person anyway. Occasionally, once, maybe maybe twice a quarter, I'll be like, man, I got a hankering for chocolate, and I'll get like a Hershey's bar or something like that. But that's pretty much it. Like meats, fruits, and vegetables. So this is why I think I have a cancer somewhere that I haven't discovered yet, because I just, no matter what I do, I don't feel well. Other people say it's stress and not resting, so it's some form of exhaustion. I don't know, maybe you know who knows, but there's nothing I can do about that. I can't. There's nothing I can do to relieve the stress. The stress is going to be there until I win the lottery, and then I'm going to go hide on a mountaintop, and you'll never hear from me again. And that is gonna be that. David says, a friend of mine used to say it's okay to acknowledge you're getting older. You just want to do your best to not give into it. Yeah, yeah. I think that's what it is. Like, yeah, I noticed this the other day. Where was I? I was in, well, anywhere I go, but this happened. I was at Giant, the supermarket here. And, it's like you've got this, it's like, what was it, Frogger or Paperboy? Probably both. But Paperboy, I played more than I don't remember Frogger too much. But so, there's like there's all these obstacles. You know, certain times a day, it's The Walking Dead, um, and you've got those obstacles, and nobody. Oh, that's where I was. It was no. I had to go to the visitor center yesterday. Oh, okay. Here's a rant. I had to go to the visitor center yesterday. A friend of mine that I went to high school with texted me in the morning and he said, "Hey, I'm coming down with my students today. We're going to be at the museum, which he means the visitor center, and then we're doing the movie and the cyclorama and then lunch." And I go, "Well, I'll come by. What time are you having lunch?" And he told me 12:30. So I went there a little early. And this time of year is bus season. Great for guides. I don't know if it's so great for all local businesses, but it's certainly great for restaurants. Um, but it is pure hell. It is the adolescent bike week, basically. All of the, except for the noise, the infestation of locust-like beings, but they are in human form. Um, It's just everywhere. And this is something I've noticed, and I was actually talking with Cindy about it last night because they deal with them where she works. Um, there's this phenomenon amongst the young today that I've noticed, and I don't know where it comes from, but I fear for when they're in charge because okay, so I'm walking down the hallway. Okay. I'm already in the hallway. It's that hallway that goes from the main lobby of the visitor center into the theater area where the gallery is and the theater for the movies and cyclorama is and all that stuff, right? Okay. Short little hallway, wide, but short. Wide, but short. Okay. Wide is the key word here. This group of middle school kids come around the corner opposite direction from me, and they are what, four or five of them across abreast, right? And one of them is right on path with me, a big old guy, and literally walks straight into me. Now, I was over by the wall. I had nowhere to go except for into the wall to get out of her way. And frankly, I don't think a person in my position, I don't care what your age is, but where I was already there, already established my track, my path of travel, I don't think it's that person's job to get out of the way. I think it's the job of one of the members of this group of four that is taking up all the space. And you see this in supermarkets, and when they bump into you, they don't say sorry. They act like it's you were just walking on a trail and you were a little too close to the edge and you got hit with a tree branch. They treat it no differently than that, and that's why I believe they're going to when they're in charge, they're going to enact mandatory euthanization for people over 75 because you're useless. They don't see you as people, and it's very weird. It's very weird, and I don't know where that comes from. And there's no fear of anything in them. There's no respect. Like, and you say, oh, everybody says that about, no, it's just not true anymore. It's just not true. That's not what's at play anymore. It's a different thing. They're like aliens, and it's a real shame. It's a real shame. But yeah, and it happened. And so then I was talking about it with a bunch of people actually yesterday, different points, and they're all like, "Oh, they're terrible." So it's not just me. Like, it happens to everybody. Everybody notices it, and yeah, I don't like that, and you shouldn't either. Which is why we should send all people under a certain age to some deserted island and let them hash it out. Earth to Matt. This is ground control G copy. Let's celebrate your birthday because so many people never get the chance to live as long as you. There you go. That's a good one. Good morning to everyone. They were marching in column. They were marching in battle line, is what they were. Chris Brixius says, addressing Gettysburg cures my insomnia. Thanks. A friend of mine used to say it's okay to. Oh, I just read that one before. Okay. Yeah, Chris, I completely disagree with you. You're right. Every generation complains about the young, but there is a huge difference here. There is a lack of humanity in them that is not connecting, and I blame us. Blame us because they missed a lot of socialization several years ago. We did it to them. So I mean, you know, who am I really angry at? I'm mad at the parents. I'm mad at the schools. I'm not mad at the kids because they're the innocent victims in this whole thing until they're no longer the victims and they become the perpetrators. And that's how it works. Sir, if you're going to ride your bike, then ride it. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, I know that like a lot of people like to say, oh, every generation complains about the young as a way to just dismiss the criticism. But what I'm talking about is not that. I am actually a proponent of a lot of things that youth stereotypically does, like bucking the system, things like that. Rebelling. The problem is they're not rebelling. The rebels are the old people now, and what are they going to do? The young people fall straight in line. They're zombies, and that's what is concerning to me. They're not acting like normal young people. And yeah, that's what it is. So this is not your typical case of old fart complaining about young people. I mean, I remember one time I was at uh, Seaside Heights in New Jersey at one of the boardwalks. I was 17, 16, 17. And, me and my friends are walking on the boardwalk and I'm, walking with a cigarette in my hand and everything. And did not know that there was this old couple behind me. And I forget what we were talking about. We got excited about something, and so I quickly turned around to walk in the opposite direction, and in doing so, bumped into this old lady. Right, immediately, I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and I said, "Are you all right?" And she, and she must have been in her 70s. Uh, she was, beside herself and pissed at me. And all she did was look me up and down and go, cigarette and all, and then keep on going. Um, yes, I was being a careless, impetuous, stupid youth. And in doing so, I bumped into somebody, and immediately something clicked in me that was my fault, that was wrong, and I should apologize. I'm not saying there aren't kids like that today. There's plenty of good kids. I meet them all the time. But this is too different, too noticeable by too many people, and some of them are people who are pretty like, you know, eh. We all complain, all the old people complain about the young people. And even they're like, yeah, this is a weird part of them. So I don't know. But agree to disagree. That's okay. I'm still right. All right, let's see. Uh, Jeff, I didn't see a lift at the Peace Memorial, so I don't know. Was it right by the monument? If it was, they're probably cleaning it. If it's somewhere else, I have no idea. UNC Samurai, I do believe that at a certain age, people should be barred from dining in restaurants until they work at least 6 months in the food industry in some capacity. I believe under a certain age should be barred until parents learn how to parent again. Under a certain age should be barred from restaurants. They make, I cannot stand. And again, it's the parents, it's not the kids, the parents that sit there and ignore the kid. I know you want to get out, and it's just a little break for you. Just get out, get a change of scenery. You don't have to make dinner and all that stuff. That's great. Find a sitter for kids or get takeout and sit outside on your porch or something like that and eat. But don't make the rest of us have to pay to just to have to sit there and try to talk over your screaming child. You know, like it's you may be entitled to enjoy yourself and go out, but you're not entitled to subject the rest of us to the bad parenting as evidenced by your 4-year-old who's throwing shit and screaming the whole time. Thank you. I think you'll agree with me later and thank me. Um, well, maybe. I don't know how I'll ever think that this behavior is good. I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's plenty of adults that act this way now too, and they think it's okay. And I totally disagree. And I left my effing wallet at home. God damn it. Hey, Chad, if you're watching, I got to go home and get my wallet because we can't get in the building. Uh, all right. Stella says, when I was a teaching assistant and we took the students on field trips, they are out of their realm and forget they need to act like students. It was very frustrating. Yeah, no, and I remember doing that too. I mean, we get excited and stuff, but one word from the teacher, two at most, was more than enough. In fact, yesterday when I was talking to my friend, he and his students were standing in line in the cafeteria at the visitor center. And, so there were only 12 of them. And me and the principal and my friend were standing behind the group. And every once in a while, my friend would have to interrupt me and, say Ethan or, one of these names that they use now, you know, uh, Ethan, whatever. I'm trying to think of other silly names. But not that Ethan's a silly name. That's actually one of the least silly of the names out there today. But he's got to tell them to stop touching each other. And they're like using their meal card to like fake shave their necks, like shave each other's necks. I'm like, what the hell is this all about? They think they're styling each other's hair. These are 12-year-old boys. And I'm like, what is this? He's like, I don't know. He goes, it's this weird thing that they do. And I'm like, what? What is that? And then 5 minutes later, he's like, Jefferson, I told you to stop touching Kyle. And I'm like, we never had that problem. Never had that problem. If we touched anybody, it was typically a fist. So that's a problem too, but not this. And so, uh, but I said to him, I was like, I remember they're just giddy, like they're excited because they're not in school, they're away from home. It's this little feeling of independence. So I get that they're annoying on field trips because I think we all were annoying on field trips to some extent. But plowing into somebody and not even acknowledging it. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's not like it by accident. It's you literally did not get out of the way and you saw me coming. You saw I was already there and you walked into me. They're going to make great drivers. Brian said, "Hell yeah, I look so old. People think I'm my wife's dad." Chris says, "Maybe you see something of your younger self in these kids today, and that's why you're hating on them." I'm not hating on them. I'm hating on the parents. Again, and I yeah, I don't what no, I don't see my younger self. I told you that story on the boardwalk. Like I was immediately upset. And no, I think what it is I resent how we were expected to behave ourselves, and they're not. And that's what I don't like. I think if anything, if there's any kind of like Freudian psychology or whatever it is that you're trying to play with me here, that of course makes it so that I'm in the wrong and they're not. Um, I think that might be it. Is I resent the fact that just well, it's my generation's children are not expected to behave themselves, and I just find that to be detrimental. I love this. I didn't realize it was Festivus and we are airing our grievances. Every time with me, there's an airing of grievances. Forgot where I was going there for a second. Now, Chris, who is that? Chris Burgess, Boston. Why are you so defensive of the youth, and why would you blame? It's almost like blaming the cop for catching the criminal. What you're doing here, as opposed to blaming the criminal for the criminal behavior. So why do you defend them so much? Are you of that age, or are you just like let everything go to hell? Who cares? I'm always interested to hear where people are coming from when they are so incorrectly disagreeing with me. And I hope you know I'm joking when I say that. The worst, always, the joy of cooking says the worst part is the screaming kid on an airplane. R.I.P. Spirit Airlines. Oh, they'll just go to some other low budget airline, and then that'll be dead in 5 years. Yeah, bonus overtime video. Yeah, I hope Tad tunes in because I'd have to end this to text him. Well, at least it's a nice day to have to drive back home. Spirit was a Chris Burgess Boston says Spirit was a very peaceful experience. Okay, you're just being a contrarian. You do agree with me. All right, I get it. I get what's going on now. Okay. Jeff Pasnick says, isn't watching the video in his contract for work? You know what? It's going to be because I think that's how he'll know what the latest information is. Brian says, my two boys, ages 6 and 10, are so well behaved. Their school teachers want us to have more kids. So lucky. Good job, sir. Good job. If you could see me now, you would see that I'm saluting you. Thank you. Those children will be leaders of tomorrow. Of tomorrow. Eric Koval, where you headed, buddy? Well, Eric, I'm heading back home because, as they say in Switzerland, I forgot my wallet. So I can't get into my building without my wallet because the key card is in there. But also, you should have your wallet, you know, money, driver's license, all these things. What happened was I had a jacket on yesterday, and I put my wallet in the jacket pocket because I didn't want to put it in my back pocket, and it's too bulky for my front pocket. So I put it in my jacket pocket. And didn't wear a jacket today because it's a little warmer this morning than it was yesterday. You know, I learned the hard way that putting your wallet in your back pocket is not good for your back. And now I'm living with the consequences of that. And I knew at the time, people said it, but I said, nah, you're just old and you're just complaining about me because I'm young. But I'll show you I'm different. And here I am, the day after my first trip to physical therapy. Brian says, yes, not bad for an old deadhead. There you go. Well, being a deadhead, you kind of chill, right? You're like, yeah, man, be nice to people, man. Man, like, do unto others and stuff, man, right? Like Jerry Garcia said, man, driving that train high on cocaine. Just remember that. All right. Have fun at school, son. Like that kind of thing. Like, who would be an asshole if that's what you're hearing? Eric says, oh, hey, maybe doing a movie in Jersey next month. I will let you know if I'm around. Well, I'm in Gettysburg now, Eric. But yes, if you pass through here, let me know if you're coming through and we'll get some cervezas or something. Are you, I forget their name. Are you working with the Blauvelt people? The Bluefield people, whatever the hell it was called? What was that guy's name? What was that name? Oh, yeah, Chris. So I have all my cards on my phone. I just don't have my license on my phone. Can you do that? Can you put your license on your phone? I have my insurance cards. See, I'm not that old. I'm using my phone like a modern person. Got my payment cards, my insurance cards. I even have my CIA identification. Oops, I spoke too much. I said too much, guys. Uh, uh, let's see. Oh, yes, 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 of course. No, oh my God, I blocked that out. I just remember Francine. She was nice, but that was quite a crew. Quite an experience, Eric and I. Eric and I don't remember how we met, Eric. How did we meet? Oh, we were. Oh, Addressing Gettysburg was originally going to be a documentary, and Eric somehow and I met, I guess, through some ad on Craigslist or something, or maybe Facebook. I don't remember, but we were going to do it together, and in the process of trying to get it all together and figure out how that all works, I somehow got involved with this production company that was doing a movie for free for some endangered historic property or whatever. And so I said to Eric, I was like, hey, this might be a good group of people to get involved in, but they're not paying us, but like they'll feed us and everything like that. So we go, and this is where we actually meet face to face and we work on this thing. And it was the most, first of all, it was the worst story and script ever. The acting wasn't much better. The director was more interested in showing off the catering and the fact that we had a red camera um, to his friends who would stop by the set than actually making a movie. And he looked like he had a, like, not even joking, I want to say it was pink, it could have been gray, but a light colored beret, it might have been tan, a beret on, and sunglasses indoors even at night with a brightly colored frames, and a scarf, and like the whole nine. He looked like Dom DeLuise at the end of Blazing Saddles. And we were like, what the hell are we on? It was the worst experience. And it was long hours. Like, it's one thing to get volunteers, but you don't do an 18-hour shoot with volunteers. You have respect for their time. And you don't fiddle fuck around showing your friends who stop by the set the catering spread. Ugh, that was a bad experience that we had. And it led to absolutely nothing, if you can believe that. It's also hard to hold a stack of business cards in your phone. Don't use business cards. If people give me a business card, I have a business card holder that I carry in my pocket that Eric, the producer, made when he was doing his leather business. And you see, it looks like a cartridge box. And I put their cards in there. I go home. I take their card out and go onto my email or whatever, and I'll send them an email saying great meeting each day, blah blah blah. Or I'll just take my phone out and I'll be like, what's your email address, when we're face to face, and I'll just send them an email there. I'm like, there, we have each other's contact info. But typically what I do is I don't carry business cards anymore. It's a waste of money and it's a waste of space. What I do is a couple of years ago for Christmas, Cindy got me one of those dot cards, and I carry it around in that business card holder, and it does wonders. And I'm surprised I'm like the only one here in town that has one, at least that I've met so far. But people are like, here's my card. And I go, no, 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 no. And I pull it out and I said, give me your phone. And then I touch it to their phone and they go, oh, what is this? And I go, now you've got all my information, shoot me an email. And then there's a way that you can actually send your contact information in an email, and they do that. And bing, pow, Bob's your uncle. It's great. Highly recommend the dot card. It's like a one-time fee, I think. I must be, because I don't pay it. And yeah, it's very helpful. And if you care about trees, it saves a lot of trees. UNC says, Matt, you'd be surprised at the number of potential donors I meet who don't do phones or even email. No, I wouldn't be, because I think if you've got the money to be a donor, like a substantial donor, you probably are smart enough to not mess with all that bullshit. It's all the rest of it. That's what we should all do, is take a look and see what the uber rich not do, but don't do. And probably, like I heard that they don't use Bluetooth earpieces. They'll use wired earpieces. Now, why is that? I don't know, because they probably have access to shit. I can't wait until we, it's not definite yet, but we have had a response from John Kiriakou, who is, you've probably seen him all over the place, a former CIA agent, and he's been on like every podcast. He's got his own podcast. Very interesting guy, and I've been a fan. And then a couple of weeks ago, our friends over at Walk with History posted a picture of Jen with him, and I was like, you know him? I would love to interview him. Can you help me with that? And so she's been helping with that. Anyway, I've got a lot of questions to ask him, and because I don't know. There's certain things I notice that happen to most of us, but don't happen to the least of us, who are the most of us, if you know what I mean. And why is that? What do they know? Where is that secret vault, so to speak? I don't know. Neither do you. I know, Tad, it can't be easy. This is what I go home. Wait. Tad, Matt had. Oh, okay. This is what I have to work with. Yes, Tad, it is what you have to work with. And I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. You can stay an hour later today. All right. I'm going to end this before I show you where the Bat Cave is. But you guys have yourselves a great day, great weekend, and Tavern Talk, John Brown Tavern Talk, coming out in 2 weeks. I can't remember the date. Let's see. Let me do some math. It would be the 20th of May. John Brown Tavern Talk, 18th of May. Dennis Fry's in studio interview with me, John Brown's War. It's going to be the week of Brown. Are you down with the Brown? That's going to be the title of the episode. All right. We'll talk to you later.